Harihi Om Tats, Harihi Om Tats, Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru. My mind is still lingering in the same subject of self-control, self-correction, self-improvement, self-elevation, self-expanse and self-fulfillment. Let us go to the Kurukshetra battlefield where the war cries had already been raised by both the armies. And then Arjuna suddenly asks Krishna the charioteer to drive the chariot up front so that he could examine both the armies very well. Krishna drove it and stationed it right in front of Bhishma and Drona, and that sight totally unnerved Arjuna to the point of his famous Gandiva, the bow, slipping from his hand, mind whirling, the intelligence sharply confused, the whole nervous system shaken, the mouth going dry and what not. Arjuna started lamenting that the very attempt was very sinful and abominable. He never wanted to fight. He said, I would abandon the war and become a monk, an ascetic. Then Krishna took up the thread, admonished him for what he said, saying that the answer was not that. How could you, having meditated upon this war for the past 13 years particularly, now suddenly say, I would not fight? This suddenness is a result of your emotional turbulence. Suspend it, outlive it, and take recourse in your intelligence, in your buddhi. What you propose to do, or at least you say you would do, is not at all acceptable to the codes of righteousness. It is condemned by the wise and the great, and it is infamous to think of doing so. It will never lead to heaven, but certainly you will be damned in hell. Arjuna got verily the shock of his life. Earlier it was the sight, now it was the sound of Krishna, words of Krishna. He suddenly went deeper into the intelligence level and expressed his readiness to listen to Krishna, but said, you should be able to aspirate my sorrow and give me the vision and insight whereby I would have the strength to take up the bow and arrow and fight. So it was Krishna's job to make Arjuna ready physically, mentally and intelligentially to go ahead with the war. And what Krishna had to apply was only his wisdom. He transmitted it through his words. Arjuna was already an orthodox Kshatriya. He was very much given to Vedic tradition and the Vedic goal of human life. With all that background, Krishna had the task of sweeping through his mind and erroneous ideas and install there the right vision, clarity and stability. In the course of it, Krishna was saying, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhava Arjuna Nirdvandvo Nityasattvasto Niryogakshema Atmavan. My interest is in the last word, Atmavan. You will find in Bhagavad Gita in many places, he uses the word Yatatma, Yatachittaha, Yatachittendriya Kriyaha. Our personality, especially the inner framework, has got the intrinsic ability to correct ourselves, to raise ourselves, to lead ourselves to wherever we want. We may not be able to raise our body 3 inches above the earth and then stand. So physically we don't have much of freedom. We are governed by the force of gravity and so many other factors. But mentally we have enormous freedom. We can gain freedom from sin. We can also avoid virtue if you want. We can be weak, we can equally be strong. We can remain bound, we can be quite liberated and free also. The spiritual science always tells you how to get rid of the shackles of the mind. Now in that course, Sri Krishna repeatedly says that we have got enough self-derivable power. The power is intrinsic in us. You have to recognize that it is there and start harnessing it. There is the source within our body called the soul, which is verily the creator of the universe and which has got infinite strength, infinite powers, infinite glory and infinite ecstasy. One can draw from within oneself to any extent whatever benevolence, gracefulness, goodness and the like he wants. For that what is required is you must have the power, the will to apply on the mind and intelligence. So he uses the word Atmavan. Your body, your mind, your intelligence, all of them should be under your control and direction. So learn to direct your mind and intelligence. Then several times he has said Yatatma, Yatachittaha, Yatachittendriya Kriyaha. And finally in the 18th chapter he says Dhritya yaya dharayate manah pranendriya kriyaha yogena avyabhicharinya tridissa partha satvigi. He says that the willpower is of three kinds, as he always refers to. The lowest, the tamasic, the middle level, the rajasic, and sattvic, the highest level. He always presents the sattvic first, then he goes to the rajasa and the tamasa. So he describes the sattvic will in this manner. It's called dhriti in Sanskrit. Dhritya yaya dharayate manah pranendriya kriyaha, manah pranendriya kriyaha. The mental activity, the pranic activity and the sensory physical activity. All the three will have to be restrained, made to respond to your like, to your choice, to your decision. So if you are going to be a human being worthy of your name, understand that your physical, oral, mental and intellectual activities will have to be well structured. Normally we are very loose, we don't think about it. Spirituality gives you the clarion call that your personality has to be integrated. You have to have a very beautiful coordination between the knowing intelligence and the emotional mind, and then the articulate tongue, and then the multi-branched activity of the body. Try to bring about a coordination and integration. Unless you are able to make your mind respond to the discipline, the restraint, the ideal, the methodology, the order, the rhythm, I don't think there can be anything called humanhood. Our education is useless. Our attainments are powerless unless we are able to have a well-integrated personality. Now this is the one statement of Bhagavad Gita. Naturally it means that we have got the possibility as well as potential to regulate our personality, to refine it properly. Don't wonder whether we have the power. We have the power. It is there. It's a question of recognizing it if you have not recognized, and applying it in a very beautiful, effective manner. If you are not effective, go further into it. We have got a word called penance. What is this? Anybody can do penance. Anybody can do penance. Remember this. Dhritya yaya dharayate manah pranendriya kriyaha. And you use the power called yogena avyabhicharinya. Unswerving yoga spirit and yoga awareness. All of you cannot escape this. You have to be orderly. You have to be regulated. You have to be integrated. Harihi Om Tats. Jai Guru.